Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Cowboy philosopher Will Rogers said this, and boy, was he correct. What this country needs is dirtier fingernails and cleaner minds. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot to call in with our Pledge of Allegiance. Come on, give me a jingle on a Wednesday. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course, we're very happy to be in your homes, your cars, pickups, whatever right now, going on down the road with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, with a great big road trip on special for all the tires and everything. Get ready to travel, all right? Stop in and see them today, along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ian, Doug, I want you to call back in a few minutes because for some strange reason this morning, I feel like we should stand a little taller, a little straighter, and be more prideful of our country because of what's happened in the last 48 hours. Call back in a few minutes.
You bet.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go to the weather forecast right now, and the weather brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Right there, smack dab on the Burley-Paul Highway. Can't miss it. Roger and the crew serving you. Good morning. They've got all your power rakes and rototillers, post-hole diggers. Yep, you can get a PhD. And, of course, they have it all for you over there at K&R Rental. You bet they open up early in the morning at 7 o'clock. Give them a call, too. 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Enjoy the last day of sunshine for this week because, unfortunately, tomorrow that's all going to change. Here's your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We are looking at mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side, gusts as high as 20 miles an hour, and we are expecting a high of 80. Tonight is the beginning of the change. Clouds rolling into the valley, and we are expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow, 20% chance of rain, showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Partly sunny skies and winds picking up as well with a high near 72. Thursday night, isolated rain, showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 44. Gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. Friday, chance of rain, showers and thunderstorms pretty much the entirety of the day. High of 54. Friday night, rain, showers likely, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 40. And then for Saturday, pretty much the same. Rain, showers, and thunderstorms in the forecast, about a 50% chance. Cloudy skies and a high near 60. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Ooh, I mean, there's some big changes. Sounds like we're going to get a little bit of nasty weather. Hey, don't forget K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Right there, like I said. You couldn't miss it. Absolutely easy to find Burley-Paul Highway. And spring is here. You bet they've got all the tools and equipment you need at K&R Rental, 678-3122. Right now, Wheels, would you please play this word for Brad Little? Wheels, would you please play this word for Brad Little?
I'm trying here, sir. I apologize. The hotkey for some reason isn't firing off.
Well, make it
issue with it.
Make it fire off right now, can you, or is it something broken?
It's something I'm going to have to try to get into.
All right, I'll do another set of spots, and then you get that ready to go, okay?
Will do.
All right, thank you. Don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, absolutely serving you as they have for almost 60 years at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Absolutely all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs, they are serving you absolutely from 7:30 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. And when we talk about the cooling aspect right now, yeah, the temperature's going up. It's going to be a nice, warm, toasty summer. Be ready to stay comfy with your air conditioning, and they've got all the new filters for your air conditioner too. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You stop in and see them today. Let's also give a great big shout out to our friends at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, at 611 North Overland in Burley, and also at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. And they've added a lot of new things to the menu, like the co-reactor pancake breakfast, or the Blaster Fire Burger. All of this and more. Delicious food anytime, all the time at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch, and, of course, America's Diner. You stop in and see them today. Wheels, do we have that ready to go?
Yep, Gina is getting it going and everything. Just, when we get the new spots, sometimes things don't get put in like that.
All right. Well, the minute that's ready to go, you let me know, okay?
Of course, sir.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of things to talk about this morning, and one of which is extremely important. And I don't want any twists or turns in the liberal news media this morning. Our 3 hostages from North Korea are coming home right now. They are on an airplane with Mike Pompeo. The release was cinched earlier, of course, with the difference in the times and the days, and they are on their way home and should arrive on American soil at approximately 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, and President Trump will be, at 2 a.m. in the morning, out there at the airport to greet them back home. And I am absolutely excited about what's taking place here. I think this Trump administration has done an outstanding job in negotiations with a power that wanted to be a nuclear power, and right now we are in control. And I think the same is going to be said for what happened with the elimination of our involvement in a stupid, absolutely asinine agreement from Obama's administration with the Iranians, and yesterday we pulled out of that. It's about time we thought first and foremost of us, the United States. Congratulations to President Trump and his administration for the freeing of those 3 hostages from North Korea. They are coming home. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Vote, I'll be with you in a minute. Vote May 15th for Kevin Williams, running for State Representative District 27. Kevin is a pro-Second Amendment advocate. Kevin is also pro-teacher support and positive education. Kevin is very supportive of our police and ag economy and fresh new ideas for a stronger, more productive Idaho. Paid for by Kevin Williams for State Representative District 27. Kevin Williams, Treasurer. And also our good words for Leonard Beck. Wants your vote on May 15th to be your District 1 Cassia County Commissioner. Leonard will be your voice for an economic growth, protecting property rights, and helping promote education and job opportunities for our youth. Leonard Beck, a lifelong resident of Cassia County, wants to be a strong voice for you. Vote Leonard Beck for Cassia County Commissioner May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Leonard Beck, Devon Rucker, Treasurer. Yes, sir, Wheels, what have you got, buddy?
Your hotkey and everything is ready for you.
My hotkey. Well, it sounds like hot key, hot cocoa, hot whatever. Go ahead, if you would, please.
When electing a governor, character counts. That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land, and he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
And thank you very much. Wheels, appreciate your effort over there. Thank you. Let's get into the politics of what happened over the last 24, 48 hours, etc. Number one, the Trump administration, you'd have to be blind, deaf, and dumb not to understand that there are a lot of great negotiations going on with North Korea. And also, I will throw this in. There has to be a lot of inserted help, if you will, from China. But the object of what they were trying to do for months with the Trump administration to lessen and minimize any nuclear threat with North Korea seems to be working. And the liberal left and the Democrats can't stand this. They are in hateful mode. They are in resentful mode. And they, the Democrats, have created much of the problems that we're taking and assuming today. The Obama administration lied, cheated, falsified, and absolutely put forth a deal that was more helpful to the enemy than ever to us by giving Iran $150 billion in cash. Oh, good. That could be used for terrorism and killing and mayhem around the world. Now that deal has been squashed by the Trump administration. Now North Korea capitulates and sends home 3 hostages. Things are better. And it's about high time the 91% against the Trump administration media started being aware of the fact that they have been stupid. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Zeb, you know what it is? It's just nice to have a real leader in office and a guy who knows how to pick other leaders that can do the job that they're supposed to do and not these back, spineless turds that the Obama administration had in there. And quite frankly, some of the other administrations before that. It's just really nice to get back to being the powerhouse that, we once were, and when Trump says he's got a red line in the sand, he means it.
Well, you have hit the nail right on the head, sir, and I, for one, I don't care if anybody agrees with me or disagrees with me. I am sick and tired of being the kid laying on the beach and everybody comes up and kicks sand in his face. Right now, it's time to start getting up and kicking sand in everybody else's face and say, listen, America is the superpower of the world. America will not put up with your garbage. America will not give you money so that you can use that money for terroristic activities anywhere. We are not going to allow you to put people to work as hostages in hard labor camps for the rest of their life for doing absolutely nothing. Stand up, be accountable, or we're going to walk over you.
No, I totally agree. You're in 100%. I'm 100% agreement with you. And I want to go one step further. Everyone's worried about these tariffs that he's fighting for. Hey, it's about time we had somebody who stood up for us as a working class and as Americans. And why is it that we've got to pay for everybody in the world? It's like I go to work every morning and it's like I'm paying for not only everybody here who lives in the States, but I'm having to take care of everybody else in the world, and I'm kind of getting sick of it. Well, it's nice to see what he's doing.
Amen, and I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more. Thank you for your call. It's about time everybody stood up and looked at that red, white, and blue flag this morning and said, hey, America, the spirit is back. Callers, welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'll tell you, here's a simple question. Why would any American, proud of his country, proud of the Constitution, proud of being an American, ever want to vote Democrat and put the sleaze back in that we had all the problems with in the first place? Don't forget, living at home can cause seniors a few problems, more than a few problems. Loneliness, isolation, safety hazards, possible injuries, poor nutrition, missed medication, all of this needs to be considered. That's why I urge you to contact Pomerel Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. The number to call, find out more information about how they offer the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. 677-8212. That's the number to call our friends at Pomerel Place in Burley. Call today. Also, before I take the call, I want to remind everybody about Dino's Septic Service. These folks just absolutely are nice people and very fast, fare-friendly service to you. That's right. Septic tanks pumped and backhoe services, water and sewer lines installed, septic inspections, liquid waste removal. Ooh, doing the job we don't want to do, and they do it with a smile on their face. Dino Septic Service with numbers over in Rupert 436-6526 or in Burley 678-1638, and they got that big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Dino Septic Service, you call them to work for you. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, I've been watching this confirmation hearing on Gina Haskell, and this Mark Warner, who's the most terrible senator in the world, was questioning her, and these are the questions he asked her. Would you, if something come up, would you report to us as a Senate or to the President of the United States? And then he went on to say, and will you support the corrupt? He didn't say that. I'm saying that. But this Mueller investigation for Russian interference, will you say yes or no to that? You know, all these are loaded questions, and how in the world could she ever get confirmed if these people are going to give her questions like that?
She'd better be confirmed. I'm not going to be hedging around anything. I'm very blunt. She better be confirmed. She's the best person for the job. She is more than adequate to take over the leadership of the CIA. Wheels, we've got feedback on this line. And she had better be confirmed. And the Democratic senators that are in there trying to rake her over the coals and absolutely try to make her foul up on some of her statements, they should be criticized, ostracized, and they should be nailed by the rest of government as being anti-American. How much more direct can I be?
You can't. But this Ron Wyden from Oregon, he's going to be another thorn in her side. They're going to do this to stack the deck against her. And I just hope there's enough people with common sense to confirm her.
I hope so too, Keith, because I'll tell you what, I don't care. I don't care what you and Nancy believe as far as what you like or don't like on interrogations or what you think is inhuman treatment or everything. I don't care what your thoughts are. I know that right now I am more interested in protecting myself, my family, my friends, my neighbors, and if it means getting a hold of a terrorist and trying to extract that information in any way, shape, or form to protect Keith and Nancy Cottom and everybody else, I'm going to do it.
Since when do we embrace terrorists? And this gal was taking orders from the President of the United States for this interrogation of this after 9/11, and it just wasn't fair to question her about this.
Yeah, but you haven't heard the worst of it.
She was told, and she was a true American.
Yeah, but you haven't heard the worst of it, evidently. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the guy, the absolute verminous villain, wants to testify in front of the Senate. He made a comment to his lawyers that he wanted to go in front of our Senate and talk against this lady being claimed as CIA head because, she was too tough on him. This is the Khalid Sheikh Mohammed that was the mastermind of killing over 3,000 people on 9/11 and also devised the plot to slaughter and massacre Daniel Pearl. And if anybody in their right mind, which a lot of politicians aren't, would allow him to even think about coming in front of the Senate to have a negative word against her, I mean, this is nuts.
He is also claiming that her interrogation, because of her interrogation, he suffered brain damage.
Well, I can tell you one thing. He didn't suffer anything close to what he would have suffered if I'd have been in that position.
And bless you for that.
All right, Keith, got to run. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I said a long time ago on this program, and I will maintain this, that if they would appoint a team, let's say 5 or 6 great big professional bulldoggers as interrogation teams, we'd eliminate a lot of the problems. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. They can help you get back to being you. Nick Greenwell heads up all the physical therapists right there. And with all the exercises and the sports medicine and the hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind in the area, they can and they will help you get back to being you. Absolutely. Call for an appointment today, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Stand by, caller. I'll be right there. Don't forget, May 15th, re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3. Tim knows that Cassia County has a lot to offer with its heritage and history, and he wants to help more and move the county forward. Tim Darrington has been very involved in updating county policy reimbursement and in updating Cassia's software. Re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3 on May 15th. Paid for by the committee to elect Tim Darrington, Gail Erickson, treasurer. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. Yes, wake up today. It is proud to be an American.
Amen.
Very proud to have this man, President Trump, leading our country.
Amen.
I mean, the way he's standing up to the world and what he has done that even the past Democrats and Republicans, even before Clinton, could not get done.
I listened last night on television to a bunch of wacky tobacco Democrats that are absolutely so hell-bent on the Stormy Daniels story, and they're so hell-bent on saying, there had to be collusion someplace, we're going to keep going and spend all the money of the taxpayers and prove it. I am fed up with it. The Democrats are nothing but losers. Losers. Spell it out, put it in capital letters, and nobody in their right mind should vote for them.
This is a fact. If you like the way it was under Obama, the way the economy was, the way the world was treating us and taking advantage of us, then you want a Democrat. But if you're happy with what's going on now, the way we are leading the world peacefully and bringing peace to the world, because I feel that President Trump's going to succeed in North Korea, and I also feel he's got the Ayatollah over there in Iran. He's got them a little bit shaky because they know this man, when he says he will do something, he will do it.
What's the number one thing, Doug, and I haven't got a lot of time because of commercials, but what's the number one thing that Iran and the Ayatollah and the leadership over there need to be more concerned about this morning than at ever before in the last 2 or 3 years? Tell me what it is.
What it is Ayatollah now cannot push America around. They cannot sit there and say death to America and burn American flags and get $150 billion from it.
Well, I'm going to enhance what you said just a little bit and give my own interpretation. I think it's the economy. Right now, we gave them $150 billion, which they use that money to go out and create more terroristic activities around the world. But today, with President Trump saying yesterday in a very, very kind of a low tone, we are going to increase the sanctions and really economically cause them to understand what they should do. Do you realize that that area and other people that are trading partners with them, knowing now that the treaty is off, that wasn't a treaty, kind of a quasi-agreement, is off, that the economy over there, we could bring them down to their knees, and I think they know it, and they'd better start capitulating and acting right.
Exactly. That's what brought the North Korea leader to table because they were running out of money and the sanctions
That's
were
right.
tight.
That's right.
And nobody was black market getting anything into them.
Amen. And I absolutely feel no regrets whatsoever. 3 hostages are coming back from North Korea. Everybody said that if Trump pulled out of the Iranian deal, why, North Korea would stiffen its upper lip and they'd get tougher. Buddy. Those 3 men are coming home. They're going to land on American soil tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. The president's going to be there to greet them, and I think we're going to see other things happen for our benefit.
Exactly. And when did the last administration, or even the ones before, when would they be there at 2 a.m. to greet people?
Oh, Michelle, she'll go in front of a school board and say that she's America's mom.
Who made up a menu the kids wouldn't even eat.
Tofu, yeah. Thank you, Doug. God bless you, my dear friend. Thank you. Caller number 2, I'll be right with you, I promise. Oh, I'm sorry, Doug. Go ahead. Say it again. I overran you. Go ahead.
Let's do what we can for our senior centers, support them how we can.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hey, don't forget on Mondays we give away a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the Square in Rupert. Oh, delicious cookies, pies, desserts, biscuits, everything. Wedding cakes, they make it all. What a delicious bakery and what a great restaurant at Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. By the way, too, when you get a good man working for you, caring about your situation and caring about the issues in Idaho, you keep him. Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27 on May 15th. It's true. Integrity serving you. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood. Steve Westfall, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. You know, isn't it just amazing that amid all the controversy, surrounding his presidency, Donald Trump is still able to get things done.
Amen.
I mean, he's done something in 18 or 19 months that very few presidents, if any, have ever gotten done. The economy is booming. He got the prisoners released from North Korea. Hey, we ought to be giving him kudos and thanking God we've got him in the White House.
You know something, Donna? I'm so glad you said that because I can guarantee you, and I think you'll agree with me, that all the way through today, up until 5 o'clock tonight, the 6 o'clock news, etc., the liberal media is going to try to conject these stories in a negative fashion and still demonize him.
Oh, yeah, they're still trying to get him impeached. What has he done wrong? He hasn't done, I don't give a hoot and you know where, what he did when he was a private citizen or what he does in his own home. That's his business and God's. He's the one that has to answer for it, not me. I'm not judging anybody. But back off and God, let the man keep doing his job. Look at everything he's done.
I know it. And when I heard this morning, and Wheels, we got feedback here again. When I heard this morning that those 3 hostages were coming home and going to stand on American soil by about 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'll tell you what, you can ask Deanne. I swelled with pride, and I said, you know what? I am just really proud to be an American, and I'm supporting this administration because things are being done in a positive manner for you, George, me, Deanne, Americans.
Yes, I totally agree. I wasn't in real big favor of Donald Trump, but I was willing to give him a chance to prove. And, this red line in the sand, you better not cross it. And, the liberals are trying to say that, that the pulling out of the Iran deal is a bad thing. No, it's not. It was a bad thing to start with.
Amen.
It gave them so much more power over us, and Obama bowed to them. He didn't. They crossed the line. I don't know how many times. With Donald Trump, you cross the line, and you're going to be one sorry puppy.
Donna, thank you. Say hello to my dear buddy George, and God bless. Thank you so much.
I will. You and Deanna have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget Bob Nonini. Idaho needs Nonini. Bob Nonini for Lieutenant Governor. Vote May 15th for proven effective conservative leadership. Bob Nonini has 25 years experience in local and state Republican politics. He believes in quality, affordable health care, parental choice in education, and wants to create a positive business climate with limited government involvement. Vote for Bob Nonini for Lieutenant Governor on May 15th. Paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nonini Lieutenant Governor, Treasurer R. Scott Hogue. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yes.
Just so you know, Tony's on the other line for you.
I'll take it in just a moment. Stand by, Tony. Don't forget Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. I talked to Juan, and I hope Juan's feeling better. Everybody send Juan over at 159 West Highway 30 a Get Well card. He got kind of bumped and bruised here about a week ago, and we wish him well. So send Juan, seriously, I mean this, a real Get Well card and tell him, hey, man, slow down a little bit, be careful, smell the roses. He got a little bruised up, so we want to wish him well. He had a little accident. Berry Equipment and Rental on 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and in Nampa with all your equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, waiting to serve you. Stop in. Give them a call today, Berry Equipment and Rental. And by the way, wish Juan well over at the Burley location. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. You know, when the Brother-in-Chief was in power for 8 years, all he ever did was go over and criticize America, bow and scrape, get on his hands and knees, and beg for forgiveness. Now we've got somebody that's got the guts to put these people in their place, and it's killing the Democratic Party to have such a man to save America.
I'm going to tell you something, Tony. You've been on this earth longer than I have, but I have a fear. I have a fear and a trepidation that the Democrats now are like rats, backed into corners, and I don't trust what they might try to do.
Well, the Democratic Party has become a subversive organization. It's no more a political organization. They are a poisonous political group that will do anything to get back in power and bring this country back to the days of Barack Obama.
You know, that's a very good...
what we're facing.
I agree with you. But, Tony, I feel proud this morning that we have 3 American citizens that are on their way home thanks to the Trump administration. Not thanks to CNN, no thanks to John Kerry or Barack Obama, but thanks to the Trump administration. And I feel like America took a great big step forward this morning.
That's right. I remember the person that was held prisoner by, was the Chinese or whatever it was, and that fellow eventually died. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, these 3 people would have been dead in prison already.
Well, that was also over in North Korea. It was Otto Warmbier, and he was the student that absolutely was thrown in jail over something so frivolous and stupid. And I think right now President Trump has got North Korea on a string and just saying, now, when I tell you to jump forward, I want you to do it. And I hope the same is going to be said for Iran. Tony, God bless you, and Mary, have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right,
Bye.
buddy. Thank you. Bennett Boys Auction Service. They're going to have the big Myers Estate auction coming up at 10 o'clock this Saturday morning, May 12th, located over in Hagerman at 2883 Ritchie Road. Look for the signs for the Bennett Boys Auction Service. They're going to have all kinds of great sporting items, fishing rubber rafts and fishing equipment, tractors, vehicles, trailers, shop tools. Oh, lots of shop tools. Furniture, household items. This is going to be a ripping good quality sale, and it's the Myers Estate auction this Saturday, May 12th, starting at 10 a.m., managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Look for the signs over in Hagerman. The Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they can sell them all. All right, calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. A lady last night in Santa Clarita, California. Hold on, caller, I'll be right there. A lady in Santa Clarita, California last night, she stood up at a town council meeting and she just laid the law down to the city council. No more. No more sanctuary city. No more sanctuary state. No more of my money going to the stupidity of illegal aliens getting welfare and better treatment than American citizens. No more. And she got a cheer and a round of applause. Amen for her. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I want to invite everybody out to the senior center for ham and beans today. I'll guarantee you get all you want to eat for lunch. If you don't, I'll buy the second one. We have great lunches out there. Everybody's welcome. And I'm sure happy about the release of the prisoners.
Amen. And what you're saying, Joe, is with the ham and beans over at the Senior Junction today, there absolutely will not be an energy shortage on Overland Avenue.
You got that right. Have a good day. We appreciate you and all that you do.
Thanks, Joe. God bless you, man. Thank you. I love that guy. He's really something else. Joe Taylor, thank you very much. Talking about the Senior Center on, of course, Overland Avenue. I just am ecstatic about what's going on. These criers and these worriers and these Democratic leftists. Well, we pulled out of that Iranian deal. Chicken Little syndrome. The sky's going to fall. Ho, ho, ho. And then North Korea comes up with the release of the hostages. The Trump administration showing they are in control. We're not going to stand there and be whipping boys for anybody in the world. And I think this is a great message for Putin and others to understand, hey, listen, don't pull the cork out of our bottle because you're going to get in trouble. And I think what happened last night, I tell you, I am so proud to look up at that red, white, and blue flag, many of which are hanging in my office. I got about 14 or 15 of them here, and say that I'm proud of what happened. I think the negotiations and the getting on the airplane with Mike Pompeo with those hostages and flying home, man, I'd like to be at that airport. I'd like to just be there and be a part of something to be proud of. And that's it. But the media. They gauged in studies that 91%, listen to this number, 91% of the biased absolute NRB media, by the way, NRB stands for not real bright, is against President Trump and anything that he and his administration try to do. They're going to be 91% against it. It is going to be so telling to read the papers later on today, or listen to the newscast, or watch the TV newscast, and let them turn, twist, and slant the news, they will, against President Trump and this administration for those 3 hostages being freed. They will. Right now, Wheels, can we have this good word for Fred Wood?
Integrity serving you. Re-elect District 27 Representative Fred Wood on May 15th. Fred has protected the economic value of Idaho's water. Fred has worked diligently to increase education funding and higher teacher salaries. Fred has stood firm for tax cuts and low taxes with a small, efficient government. Re-elect Fred Wood. District 27 on May 15th. It's true. Integrity serving you.
Absolutely.
By the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
Well, I jumped in a little early there. Pardon me. I got to wool back on the reins a little bit. Hey, don't forget our weather forecast brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell, they care about your hearing health, and they can and they will help you. I urge you to make an appointment today. Call 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they are dedicated to serving people with hearing loss of all ages and their families. Call today, 312-0957. Right now, here's the weather.
Enjoy the last day of sunshine for this week because, unfortunately, tomorrow that's all going to change. Here's your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We are looking at mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side, gusts as high as 20 miles an hour, and we are expecting a high of 80. Tonight is the beginning of the change. Clouds rolling into the valley, and we are expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow, 20% chance of rain, showers, and thunderstorms in the forecast. Partly sunny skies and winds picking up as well with a high near 72. Thursday night, isolated rain, showers, and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 44. Gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. Friday, chance of rain, showers, and thunderstorms pretty much the entirety of the day. High of 54. Friday night, rain, showers likely, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 40. And then for Saturday, pretty much the same. Rain, showers, and thunderstorms in the forecast, about a 50% chance. Cloudy skies and a high near 60. That's your weather forecast for 7th Ranch.
Well done, Gina. Thank you very much. Brought to everybody by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And, of course, the number to call, I urge you, they help me, they can help you. 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. By the way, Terry Kramer running for re-election as Twin Falls County Commissioner. He was on my program yesterday. He wants to keep Twin Falls growing, strong, and prosperous. And he knows the major issues and wants to help solve those issues in the future. Experience matters. Keep Twin Falls County strong and prosperous, and vote May 15th for Terry Kramer for Twin Falls County Commissioner, paid for by the committee to elect Kramer. Treasurer Les Prater. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I've been a long time since I've been able to get through to you, but I just come back from a trip to Washington, D.C., and I wish everybody had the opportunity, put it on their bucket list to go back there and see the Christian heritage of our country and the documents, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence, and see those National Archives in person and to feel the spirit that took place with the founding of this country. The highlight was just before getting on the plane to come back was going up to Arlington Cemetery. 420,000 people are buried there.
Yep.
It's an area about a section,
yes,
640 acres roughly. Fortunately, we were able to see the changing of the guard. Well, that is impressive, and I had not seen that before. But to think of the sacrifice, and so many of the markers are unknown. They don't know who they are. And in some of the past wars, World War I, and and previous before that. But Zeb, this is a great country.
And it's even greater this morning. Wait a minute, Adrian, I'm short on time, and I want to expedite this a little bit. I am so proud of our country this morning, and I'm glad that you called and said what you said, because it all falls in lockstep with my attitude this morning. I've never been more proud of that red, white, and blue as I am this morning, knowing that 3 hostages are on their way home, released from a country that is a dictator hell-bent on trying to kill the world, and that's Kim Jong-un. And the negotiations now put us in the driver's seat. I'm proud to be an American.
Well, absolutely, and Trump withdrawing from that horrendous Iranian deal is another situation. But, we have a great country. The heritage of this country, had the chance to get out to the James Madison estate, and he's the father of the Constitution, and see those great murals through Senator Crapo's office. We got a tour, and these were college friends that invited me back and spend a few days, and it was just absolutely great opportunity to revisit and realize how great this country is, the Christian heritage that brought it forth, and the inspiration of God to bring forth the Constitution. We just need to get our politicians to read it and follow it.
Amen.
Simpson and
Amen. Amen, and thank you very much. I'll tell you what, I appreciate and regard everything you said in the highest order. Thank you very much. I got to run. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks a lot.
You know, he's right about going back there. I wished every single person could take a trip back there to the East Coast. I've been there many times. And understand what took place, how it took place, to make this country grow and prosper into what it is today. I am so sick and tired of these bleeding heart liberals complaining while they got a full belly and they've got everything handed to them in a tin cup. A lot of people died. A lot of families suffered. A lot of blood was shed to give and provide us what we have today. America, the greatest country on the face of the earth. You don't like that? Tune into another program. Let's not forget that re-elect Clark Kaufman as your District 25B representative to the legislature. Clark Kaufman has served on the Revenue and Taxation Committee, Transportation and Defense Committee, and the Resources and Conservation Committee. Honest, hardworking, and capable. Remember to vote on Tuesday, May 15th for Clark Kaufman, paid for by Kaufman for Idaho State Representative, District 25, Seat B, Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Oh, by the way, the poor little snowflakes back at the University of Maine. Oh, they're under so much stress going to college. They're under so much stress trying to learn how to become adults and maybe go out in the real world and get a job and be responsible. Well, they had to go on behalf of the university, and they had to go get a bunch of little goats. Little goats. So that they could come out of the class, and they could sit on the lawn, and they could cuddle with the goats, because they're underneath so much stress. You know, think back when you were in college. Think back of what you had to do. I had to work in the evenings and then get up early in the morning and go to class and go back to work late in the afternoon until midnight. Oh, gee, we didn't have stress back then in those days, I guess. Oh, but these little snowflakes, they need crying closets and they need little goats because they can't cope with what's going on. What a bunch of worthless, wet-nosed wussies. Good heavens. Now they've got to have goats. They had the crying closets at the University of Utah, and now they got to have goats. And other colleges, like in Berkeley, they got stuffed animals. They'll hand people, here, squeeze this, it'll make you feel better. Grow up! Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's not forget our friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and get ready for a road trip. Boy, am I ready for a road trip. After the primaries, look out, you might not hear anything but a zzz on the phone line. I'm out of here. Hey, don't forget they've got all the tires for your safe driving, all the different tread designs, cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, everything at all 7 locations, along with a free pre-trip safety check. Check it out today at all of the 7 locations. And don't forget the best in brake service, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more. They really serve you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Absolutely. You know, I got to tell you, most of the politicians that I've worked with are really, really great. I mean that. Great individuals, men and women, that really have put forth a lot of effort for a campaign and know what they want to do and how they want to approach it. But there are some that absolutely can't organize a one-horse parade. And my wife and I started contacting all of these people that want to run for office way back in the beginning of March. And some of them waited until, and I'm not making this up, until yesterday. 5 days, 6 days before the election, and they call and say, well, we want this, and we want to come on your program and everything, and the simple answer is, in very simple verbiage, no. You were asked. You were told. Now, no. Evidently, your planning for a campaign is showing that you're not really good for the position you're seeking. There are some like that. Right now, let's have this good word, and then Wheels will take us up to CBS News. Oh, good morning, and welcome back. Hour number 2, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with a great big road trip ready. All the great tires you need. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Wheels, could we have the good word for our friends at Western Waste Services?
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, don't forget, along with collecting your garbage and getting rid of it, they also have the Go Minis, portable storage units. Oh my goodness, they can bring one by your location. You can fill it up, store it on your property, or they'll store it on their property. Oh my goodness, they want to help. They are always at your disposal. Call them today. Western Waste Services, 734-6969. Wheels, may we have the word for Brad Little?
When electing a governor, character counts. That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land, and he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Mickey Risch, Treasurer.
And thank you very much. Don't forget, too, tomorrow on Thursdays, we have our segment with Cassia Regional Hospital. You can learn all about your friends, your neighbors, serving you for better health care at Cassia Regional Hospital. Quality care close to home. Be listening tomorrow morning on Thursday, right here on Zeb at the Ranch at 9:17 for Cassia Regional Hospital. Real quick, I know we're running late. Dave, stay tuned. Kent Searle wants your vote to become District 3 Cassia County Commissioner on May 15th. Kent Searle, lifelong resident of Cassia County, has the experience of being a farmer and a dairyman and the service to you as an EMT and first responder, and has gained your trust serving on the Ag Advisory Committee and the Gateway Powerline Committee. Kent Searle says, together, we can make Cassia County even better. Kent Searle for District 3 Cassia County Commissioner on May 15th. Paid for by the committee, Dan Gammon, Treasurer. And another county commissioner, May 15th, re-elect Roger Morley in Jerome County, District 3. Roger Morley has always said, yes, we can, when it comes to being pro-Jerome County. He understands local folks and local problems. terms and wants to continue to work for Jerome County with a pro-jobs, pro-ag, pro-people attitude. Re-elect Roger Morley, District 3 Jerome County Commissioner on May 15th. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Roger Morley, Lorraine Morley, Treasurer. Woo! Good morning, Dave Beagle. How in the dickens are you?
Well, I'm doing okay. How you doing, Zeb?
I'm out of air. Take over. The program's all yours. Adios.
No, you're staying with me.
Hey, I got to tell you something, David. And Wheels, again, the feedback on the line. Ride that gain a little bit. I feel this morning so proud to be an American. 3 American hostages from North Korea are coming home to put their feet back on American soil tomorrow morning at approximately 2 a.m., and I thank the Trump administration for being firm, tough, and getting this taken care of. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm 100% with you. It just shows you that the previous administration, all their babble and talk, doesn't get them anywhere. You've got to know how to negotiate and be firm and look the other side in the eyes, and they know you mean business, and that's what Trump does.
You know, when you think about John Kerry, one of the most despicable human beings, I think, from all the way back from Vietnam and his statements in front of a Senate hearing, and now he also is known for his Secretary of State demise and the helping with this so-called nuclear agreement with Iran, and then going behind this administration and trying to subvert everything they're doing. I said yesterday on the program he ought to be shot as a traitor.
Well, I don't think he ought to be shot, but I do think they ought to take him to task for it, and they find that he is truly doing the wrong things, that he ought to be punished legally for it. So.
Well, yeah, but Dave, think about it, though, and I know that sounds harsh, but if this were 200 years ago, he would be. You can't do things subversive to your government and your country as he is doing and still doing, as are many of the Obama administrators, and get away with this. There has to be legal ramifications. You can't do this type of thing in an American policy situation like John Kerry's trying to subvert. I call him a traitor. I'll stand behind it.
Well, I think he is, but the Trump administration needs to go after him and legally and expose him and let it move forward, and I hope they do, and I think they probably will as time goes by on this stuff, especially as more and more of the information comes out that shows that these people are doing the wrong things for America and they want to bring this country down.
Dave, one of the things that we've talked about for a long time is the media. We have occasionally visited about the leftist media in this country, and I was really shocked yesterday when I learned that 91% of the media is confirmed biased against the Trump administration and the Trump presidency, and yet his poll numbers are going up, up, up. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think the American people, are seeing through the media and understand what's going on, and they're tired of being controlled by the left and the far left, and I'm hoping that this, this really shakes up the media. But again, behind the scenes, and I've said this many times, the media is controlled by the left. The Soros people and SEIU and other, unions like them, and we're going to continue to see this stuff until America truly wakes up and shoves back at them.
I have a tendency in our conversations to be kind of the redneck attitude. You're more subdued, but I absolutely am pulling for Gina Haspel to be the new CIA director, and yet the left is criticizing her over interrogation methods. The left is absolutely trying to demonize her, and quite frankly, I wished we had 1,000 more like her with an attitude of America first and the demonic terrorists last. What are your thoughts?
Yep, that's true, and but they're going to go after people like her because they don't want those people in positions so they have to fight them, and they're using the same tactics against her that the SEIU used against us and our companies and employees and customers and everything else, and it's their Alinsky tactics, and the left is going to continue to use that, and they know that a lot of people don't have the backbone to stand up to it.
You know, really, what's the matter with our country? Even thinking, did you hear yesterday that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, in jail, had made a statement to his lawyers that he wanted to testify to the Senate hearings about how cruel and harsh Gina Haspel was during his interrogation methods. This is the guy that was the mastermind of killing over 3,000 American citizens and also in the slaying and brutality of Daniel Pearl. And to think that the left and even his attorneys would try to approach the Senate and say, well, maybe he should testify about Gina Haspel. This is absolutely beyond the pale.
It is, and this is all about their, wanting a one world order, and they actually want the United Nations to control us, and and there's so many people in the UN that are so radical and against America, and that I believe I said it in one of my blogs and several years ago that I think really the United States ought to quit supporting the United Nations and giving them money and actually close down the headquarters in this country.
It means so much to me to sit there, and whether you like Trump or whether you don't like Trump, whether you really want to go back 11, 12, 15 years before he even thought about throwing his hat into a political ring, and you want to criticize him for his lifestyle, we knew what he was before we had a nomination for him as president. I mean, the man is getting things done. The economy is much better off. We're looking at the lowest unemployment numbers, I think, in the last 30, 40 years. Everything is starting to come home to roost for betterment for the United States. Our hostages are being returned. How in the world can the Democrats slant this?
Well, because they are doing that because the election's coming up, and as I've told you before, it's going to get worse. It's going to get uglier as we get closer to November. And, and again, I don't think it's the Democratic Party in general. I think it's more the far left that's controlling it. And I think the Democratic Party itself needs to wake up and have some backbone and quit letting these people drive them in the wrong direction. Because again, at the end of the day, it's all about control. These people want to control us, and that's what they're trying to take us for. And that's why they're trying to take Trump down, because he's a major barrier in their way. And they're trying to find every way they can to bring him down.
And then you hear statements by Nancy Pelosi, and I don't know why anyone in their right mind, so evidently they don't have a right mind, would pay any credence to her whatsoever. She came out yesterday in a straight approach to the Trump administration, said that she was in favor of raising taxes. I mean, if I were a Democrat wanting to run on their ticket and Nancy comes out and says something like that before the midterms, boy, I'd want to get a roll of duct tape and make sure she didn't say any more.
You got to look at Nancy Pelosi and her age, number one, and number two, how long she's been in politics, and go, why? Why would somebody be in politics as long as she's been in politics? And how did she stay there? And she's just trying every way she can to continue to stay in politics. And we need term limits. Big time, and I found it interesting here in the primaries here in Indiana yesterday. We had three people running for U.S. Senate, and two of them were congressmen, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer. And get this, Zeb, both of them got beat by a businessman here in Indiana.
I read
that. I think that kind of tells you people are tired of people being in Washington, because both Messer and Rokita have been there a long time, and both of them have come out and said that they don't know what they do in the private sector. And here's the thing about both of them: they have law degrees. They could be attorneys.
Yeah.
And this is the problem in Washington. We got people who want to stay there because of the benefits and the wages and retirement and on and on and on, instead of doing the right things for America and then going back to the private workforce.
What you said is 100% true. I was listening to that this morning, and a friend of mine that's been on this program many times, and you've seen him on television, etc., Scott Rasmussen with Rasmussen Polling System, and he was talking about Indiana, and he was talking about other races that absolutely showed that the incumbents or those involved in politics, the business people were coming in and taking over the reins. And I think this is going to be indicative in a lot of races all through this primary season, don't you?
I do, and I belong to a golf group here in Indiana, and we had an outing yesterday and dinner afterwards. And I had one of the guys in the group, as we're sitting there talking and eating dinner, he says, "Dave, when are you going to run for office? You need to be running for office." And of course, this was going on with the primaries yesterday. Everybody's looking at this stuff, and more and more people are looking for business people, just as you say.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. You didn't really put a period at the end of the sentence. Are you considering that? Because you kind of left the loop hanging out there.
No, I'm not considering it, but I thought it was interesting that, and I've been asked that a lot, and even by you back during the presidential elections. But I'm glad to see more and more business people are stepping up, and the voters are voting for them.
Well, Bigo, you know as well as I do that I'm not going to let you off the hook, because I can tell there's just a little twinkle in your eye, even though we're long distance. And I'll tell you what, like old Dumb and Dumber movie, oh, you mean I have a chance? And I think you are saying you will have a chance.
Yeah. I doubt it, but you never know. You say I got a twinkle in my eye. You got a little drone outside my window here?
Well, listen, don't talk to me about drones. They scare me, and I don't want anything to do with them. I've got to ask you, we talk about the snowflake generation a lot on this segment. And did you hear what the University of Maine is doing now? Along with the University of Utah, they got the crying closets for the snowflakes that can't stand the stress of college anymore. Well, now in Maine, they've unleashed a whole bunch of goats on the property on the campus so that the students can go and cuddle with the goats because they're having so much stress. What do you think about this?
This is the wrong way to go in America. Americans have to be willing to step up and have some backbone and use strength and work their way through things. And, going through stuff that makes you a better person and a stronger person. And, it makes for a stronger America. And, in fact, I told you this golf and dinner I was at yesterday, there was a gal that was, she was a new waitress at this place. And I was talking to her and that, and she is working her way through different jobs and that. And we were talking about this exact same subject, and she says, "Yeah, Mr. Bigo," she says, "I agree with you." She says, "People have to work hard and persevere, and they got to move their way up through. And we're going to have things that roadblocks are getting our way, but we got to find out how to get by them and move ahead and be successful." And it's great to hear people talking like that.
I couldn't agree more. And Dave, I'll bet you back there in Indianapolis, so many young people that maybe are between the ages of, let's say, 25 and 35, millennial generation, that really want to apply themselves, really want to use the talents that God's given them. They really want to be successful. I know many right here, many of which are sponsors on my program. And it's a shame that generation has to take all the flack because of the losers that don't want to do anything.
Well, it is, but the sad thing is a lot of the losers have been controlled by the far left in our education system for the last 30, 40 years, and they've been brainwashed by the left that no, you got to be taken care of, and you shouldn't have to, have barricades or work hard or anything like that in your way and all that kind of stuff. And you ought to be coddled all the time. And they do that just so that these people go, okay, we'll vote for you, we'll do what you want us to do. And again, it's the same tactics the SEIU use against us and our employees and our customers and that.
I really enjoy listening to you. What is the state of mind right now after your primary yesterday? You mentioned that a lot of people are pushing for term limits and everything. What do you think is going to happen? Is there a movement going on back in your area? What's happening?
It's hard to tell now, but as I talk to more and more people, they're glad to see things moving in the direction that they're moving. And, hoping Indiana is a leader and moving forward in these type of areas. And, term limits is going to be awful hard to get put into place because getting these people to wake up and vote these things in, which would keep them from staying in, Washington for the rest of their lives is a tough thing to get done. But we need to get Americans and in every state to put pressure on their senators and congressmen to do this.
Absolutely. Any other topics of interest this morning that you want to elaborate on? I've kind of shotgun an approach.
You know, back to the media a little bit. What do you think about this deal with 21st Century Fox looking at selling to Disney or Comcast?
The Disney Corporation, my own personal opinion, has changed so drastically from when Walt Disney was the head of the helm, and I absolutely think that the conglomeration approach is not good for anyone, and the Disney Corporation has changed so much, I can't say too much good about their situation and the products that they turn out.
Yeah, and Comcast, I'm concerned that they're trying to shut down
yes.
This is a leftist thing, trying to shut down the conservative
absolutely.
News networks and stuff
absolutely.
like that.
Absolutely. And little by little, when I heard stories last week, a friend of mine was on the program the other day, as a matter of fact, and we were talking about this. Even some of the websites now are stopping and stymieing and blaming Christian organizations for the problems in the world today, and they're taking their advertising off. It's even hard in some of these outlets on the internet to try to buy a Bible. That's how bad this situation is getting, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I've got there's a lady here in Indianapolis that she's really she's even going after the Catholic Church. And, you know, we're Catholics, and the Pope about they're buying into this socialist direction.
Yeah.
And you know, they're backing off on our values and morals as Christians in a lot of areas, and she just is really going after them. And but it looks like she's got supporters on it too. So again, I like some of these people stepping up with backbone.
Well, I will say this, and I got to wrap it up. The media, the more it's controlled by a few, the more it controls the many. And I think you would agree with that.
Yep, that's right.
My dear friend, I understand you're going to be in Colorado on Memorial Day, and if I had any way, shape, or form to rent a little jet and jot over, I would, but it doesn't look like it's going to work.
Well, we're thinking about being. We may not be there now. We got some business things coming up that we probably going to stay home in Indiana. So,
didn't they write a song about that? At Home in Indiana?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, God bless you, Dave Bego, Indianapolis. Really good to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
Take care. My dear friend, Dave Bego, I really do appreciate him being on the program. Don't forget Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, with Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, serving you and your family. When there's the passing of a loved one, wow, everything just comes to a screeching halt, and you don't know what has to be done in a short period of time, and you're just worried, and wait a minute, let them help. They will. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, number to call 436-5636, always serving you with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. And don't forget, too, Joel Heward also serving you at Morris and Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. We're running a little bit late here, as usual, on our program during election time. Don't forget Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. Number to call 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. They care. These people really care, Dr. Bill and the crew, about your animals, whether it's little kitty cats and puppy dogs or whether it's great big cows and horses. They're a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love them all and take care of them all. Please, questions, concerns, call them, 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital in Hayburn. Yep. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Wheels, could we please have this good word for Bob Nonini?
Bob Nonini, candidate for lieutenant governor, a principled conservative, successful small business owner, legislator, and leader in Idaho. Bob Nonini has earned a 100% rating from the American Conservative Union and received an A+ rating from the National Rifle Association. Bob Nonini, Idaho roots, Conservative values, proven results.
Hi, I'm Bob Nonini, and I'm passionate about becoming your next lieutenant governor. Being an Idaho native, I grew up understanding the values of hard work and dedication. I believe education is the key to growing Idaho's economy and being prepared to tackle the challenges of the future. Parents having the right to choose how they want to educate their children is crucial. Idaho needs strong leaders who allow their faith, experience, and integrity to do what is necessary in creating a better life for our residents. Experience matters. Experience counts. The choice is clear. Idaho needs Nonini on May 15th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nonini for Lieutenant Governor. R. Scott Hogue, Treasurer.
Thank you very much, and don't forget, vote for Wayne Shank, Minidoka County Commissioner, District 1 on May 15th. Wayne has extensive agricultural and business savvy and has been involved with the Minidoka Highway District, planning and zoning, and the Minidoka school system. There is great opportunity in Minidoka County for future planned growth, and Wayne Shank wants to help. Vote May 15th for Wayne Shank, Minidoka County Commissioner, District 1, Leadership and Vision, paid for by the committee to elect Wayne Shank, Stephanie Merrigan, Treasurer. Also, I know we're running a little bit late. My guest is waiting on me. Stand by, Kelly. I'll be there momentarily. Don't forget, re-elect Clark Kaufman as your District 25B representative to the legislature. Kaufman has served on many, many boards, the Revenue and Taxation Committee, Transportation and Defense Committee, and the Resources and Conservation Committee. He is honest, hardworking, and capable. Remember to vote on Tuesday, May 15th, Clark Kaufman for State Representative, District 25, Seat B, Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. And we also want to acknowledge that when you get somebody really good, and working hard for you, you don't just shut the door and say goodbye. No, you keep him. It's true. Integrity serving you. That's what we're talking about by re-electing Representative Fred Wood, District 27 Representative on May 15th. Don't forget, the man works hard for you. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer. On Tuesdays on my program, we always have a segment with Vicky's Country Garden, and it's called Gardening for Idiots, named after me, quite frankly. I'm not much of a gardener. I'm learning. And Vicky does a wonderful job. Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Number to call for all your gardening, and for Mother's Day, don't forget, Vicky's Country Garden, 438-5663. You stop over and see her today. Along with our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Hello, Jeff and the rest of the crew. It is springtime. They've got a great selection of all the carpeting and the luxury vinyl planks, all your flooring, all your sofas, love seats, along with recliners, anything you need for your comfy comfort right there at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. 459 Overland and Burley. You stop in and see those good folks today. Right now on the program with me is a gentleman that I have the highest respect for. He has done an outstanding job as a senator for our great state of Idaho, and he's running unopposed re-election this year. Senator Kelly Anthon, District 27. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Zeb, and it's always such a pleasure. It really is to be with you and talk to you a little bit on the radio.
Well, I tell you what, Kelly, you're a breath of fresh air for what you do, how you treat the situations, and what you want to maintain. And one of your slogans has always been to preserve our Western small-town way of life. What does that mean, actually?
Well, Zeb, you know, what that means to me is you got to understand kind of who I am, and those in my district, I think, know me pretty well. But I'm a fifth-generation Cassia County resident, and I say Cassia County, and that's kind of misleading because my family, of course, is my mother was born in Rupert, my grandmother born in Rupert. We're Minnecaza people, and you know we're seeing a lot of growth in our area. And one of the things that I really think about, and really my heart is into it, is how you make this a better community for the families that live here. And that really also, in large part, means we keep the traditions, the way of life, the things that we like about living in a small town. We fight for those things. We're seeing a lot of great economic growth, and I think it's actually a really good thing for the community. But the balance to that is we always have to be thinking about the fact that growth for growth's sake is not the goal. We got to be thinking about how we really improve the quality of life. We create better opportunities for our kids here in Mini-Cassia. Our education system's geared towards that. All the parts that are moving are really, in my mind, focused around building good families and good opportunities for families. So that's what I think about, Zeb, the Western way of life, the common sense approach to things. That is important as anything else that we do.
I agree with that, and I want to get back, and I don't care if the liberals don't like this statement, because they probably don't like me. That's all right. But conservative values, family values, going to church on Sunday morning, sitting around the table at night or on Thanksgiving with the family, and getting back to the nucleus of what makes our land great, and that's the American family.
Well, that's right, Zeb. I was thinking about it this morning. We are seeing, I think, some shift in our culture. Maybe this has been happening for a long time. I suppose it has. But we're seeing a shift in our way of thinking, where we have, in certain sectors of our society, abandoned those traditional values and those family values, and what I would call universal truth. So, for example, a universal truth in my mind is that killing another person is murder and that it's wrong. Just as an example. So there are certain things that I believe are universal truth. Now my personal belief system is based in the Bible. It's going to be biblical. But as we abandon the idea that there's universal truth, or we abandon some of the religious traditions that we have, I would say to you, Zeb, all bets are off, because the guiding factor at that point becomes something different. And I'm not opposed to that being in our society as long as it respects the rights of everybody else. There's a real movement, I think, to say there is no truth, and in fact, that ripples in ways that we've seen happen in other countries. Because then what you do is you start ruling by a committee, and we get things like socialism and communism. We get a group of people who say, we know better for everybody else, and we're going to impose that on everybody else. And that's just not the American way. That's not how we live in Idaho, and that is not good for families. And so I think that you do have to keep in mind the traditions and the values that have built the country. And that's just a fact.
Well, Kelly, I think right now, and again, I'm open for any correction or addition to my statement from you, but the more that we culturally invite people in from other respective areas of the world, and they do not treat this United States as their melting pot to mold into the American ideal, and we let them develop and also incur their cultures in our society, we're looking at a fragmented society, and I don't want to see that happen.
No, I think there's truth to the fact that these deep divisions inside of small communities that are kind of artificially created when we let the government meddle with that, that's obviously going to create problems. I mean, you also have to understand, Zeb, that I come from a family that moved to Denuclearization, Idaho from Sweden. And when they did that, they were really clear that, they didn't speak a lick of Swedish very much because they were trying to assimilate. They wanted their children to do well. They were doing the best they can to be Americans when they got here because that was the choice that they made. And I think that that has served my family so well for over 100 years. So I'm a testimonial to it. I think that is the truth. I don't think you have to abandon your culture. I don't think you have to abandon the good things. But there is this Western way of life, like we talked about, these American values that are based in our Constitution and our revolution. This is what makes America great, and I think we would welcome anybody from around the world who understands that and wants to be American.
Absolutely. Kelly, give me just 90 seconds, if you would. I've got to get a commercial break in. You know this time of the year. I'm busy, so bear with me, please. Ben Crouch wants your vote to become Jerome County Commissioner, District 1. And Ben says it's time for a fresh approach in Jerome County leadership, and he's the man for the job. Ben has the business knowledge and the ability to solve problems, and his decisive leadership leadership will help Jerome County. Vote for Ben Crouch, Jerome County Commissioner, District 1 on May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Ben Crouch Treasurer. Hey, there's going to be a great sale coming up on this Saturday, managed by Rogge Auction Company. Woo, they do a great job. I mean, Cade and the rest of the folks. It's going to be the Beth Franks Living Estate Auction. It's going to be this Saturday, May 12th at 11 a.m. at 251 North Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh my goodness, trucks and automobiles, motorbikes, trailers, guns, lawn and garden equipment, shop tools, household items, all kinds of great miscellaneous. This is going to be a great sale. Beth Frank's Living Estate Auction, managed by the top of the line, Rogge Auction Company. And for information, give Kate a call at 431-0074. That's coming up this next Saturday. And don't forget, too, our friends over at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, they serve you with the best of life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, and employee benefits. All you need to do is make a call. Make an appointment. Let them help you. Dedicated and responsive to your needs. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, 436-4424. Kelly Anthon, Senator Kelly Anthon on the line with us. And Kelly, I've wanted to ask you for a long time, ever since the absolute horrendous happenings at Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, we have seen a concentrated effort of employing the younger students under 18 years of age to make a mass approach and appeal to the American public for extended and very serious curtailment of the Second Amendment. What are your thoughts?
Well, Zeb, I think we as a nation need to be vigilant about a couple of things. Number one, obviously, the protection of the U.S. Constitution, and that includes, of course, the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, the second of which makes it clear that we as Americans have the right to possess firearms and to use those to protect our person, our families, and our property. That's in the Constitution. It's a founding principle of the nation. And now the other thing we need to be vigilant about is this apparent usurpation of power inside of our school systems by ideologues, people who want to go in and brainwash kids. And I've seen it on the university level. And I think we need to be vigilant about that. The school should be a place for learning those skills, that knowledge, that critical thinking even, that makes us good citizens and good Americans and good fathers and mothers and so on and so forth, but not to be programmed. And I think that maybe when I hear you say that's the first thing I think of is, it takes some experience in life to understand how life works. And again, when you look at some of these other societies that have gone the wrong direction, the Soviet Union, for example, that's part of the program. You brainwash the kids before they get a chance to think. And so I think that we have to be vigilant, and we may just have to be that alternate voice that really tries to educate people as best we can. But as far as taxpayer-funded operations, there should be no such thing going on.
Kelly, one of the things that's happening in this country is that the Democratic Party, in my opinion, again, correct me if you think I'm wrong, the Democratic Party is not only trying to import new voters for their platform, if they have one, but they are also trying to take the younger generation. There was talk last week about how the Washington, D.C. area, parts of Florida, parts of Georgia, are advocating the thought that 16-year-olds should be allowed to vote in the major elections. And I put the brakes on and say, no way. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you 100%, Zeb. I mean, you know, as I do, that there were times when we didn't allow 18-year-olds to vote. I've arrived at my kind of analysis of all these questions that I feel safe in saying that the age of adulthood, if you will, is 18 years. And I've resisted measures inside of the state Senate that try to prohibit 18-year-olds from doing things. I mean, in the state of Idaho, you could get married at younger than 18 years old, but there have been proposals, for example, to keep somebody from buying a cigarette. On the same stroke of that pen, you're sending these young men off to war.
Yeah.
So this is actually a really interesting topic, Zeb, that I think you will hear continued to be debated. I don't believe that should be the case. I think you should be at least 18 before you vote in any election.
Kelly, I've only got a couple of minutes left in this segment, and I would really like you to tell people why you still want to be a senator for the state of Idaho and what your ideas and goals are for the future in the Idaho State Senate.
Well, thanks, Zeb. You know, I have a real passion for what I say is building this community that we live in. And so when I talk about going to Boise, I'm going to Boise for the Mini-Cache area, District 27. That's why I'm going there. I think one of the things, as you were talking, that I got thinking about is we need to also be vigilant against special interests. And I see the state coming to be kind of sought after by special interests from out of state. We got to be vigilant against that. But really what I go there for is I want to be a voice for agriculture. This is the lifeblood of the state of Idaho, not just Mini-Cache area, but of the state's economy, period. And somebody needs to be from the rural areas speaking up for agricultural issues, water issues, and those things that, like I said, will build a better economy, a better school system for families. So I've often said, and I do mean it, that when a piece of legislation comes across my desk, you know, we always say as a team from Legislative District 27 that we ask ourselves, is it good for the Mini-Cache area? But I always say, is this good for the Idaho family? Because if it's not good for the Idaho family, what are we doing? And so my real interest is to be a voice for the rural agriculture, that Western way of life, represent our families, and make sure that this community is vibrant and growing in such a way that our children can stay here and get really, really good jobs if they choose, and if they choose to raise a family of their own here. Those are my goals. Those are my main kind of overall arching concepts that I look at everything I do in the legislature with.
Absolutely. Kelly, I want to thank you for all that you do. A lot of people don't realize how much you do to help other citizens behind the scenes. Senator Kelly Anthon, and of course, running unopposed, but by golly, everybody go to the polls and vote on May 15th. Your thoughts on that quickly?
Well, thanks, Zeb. Yeah, that's right. And I will say to those who are listening who are not running, it takes a lot of guts. You know, so for all these friends and neighbors that we have running for election, even against each other, it's taken a lot of guts, a lot of effort, a lot of money. They deserve, whether you vote for them or not, for you to go to the polls. And so I would encourage everybody to go out and vote. It's important. It's a big election for the state of Idaho. And I want to thank you, Zeb. I mean, you thank me, but I appreciate everything that you do for the community. And you really do provide a voice where we can talk about some of these conservative issues, and I appreciate that.
Senator Kelly Anthon, District 27, and thank you, sir. God bless, and hope to have you back on the air soon. Thank you so much.
God bless. Thanks, Zeb.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Right now, I want to remind everybody, too, about Let's Ride. You know what? On the day after the elections, let's all just get on some four-wheelers and head for the hills, shall we? Let's stop over to Let's Ride at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World and check out all the four-wheelers and the side-by-sides. Oh, my goodness. If you don't have one, that is the place to go. Nick, Randy, the whole crew serving you. And don't forget, too, they've got all the accessories over there. You open that showroom floor and you're going to go, holy mackerel, how'd they get all this in there? And they've got a great, great service department to keep you running. Don't forget, Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. It is true. This is where the fun is sold. Absolutely. Okay, I want to remind everybody about Representative Fred Wood. Wheels, would you please play that good word?
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here's Fred's views on money and politics.
Zeb, 85% of Idaho citizens believe we should have more financial transparency and disclosure in our political system. As chairman of the Interim Committee on Campaign Finance Reform, I will continue to work tirelessly to bring real transparency and disclosure to money and politics in Idaho.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
Oh, thank you very much. And right now it's time for our weather. I think we're going to be seeing some twists and some turns in our weather over the next couple of days, not real good. And the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPA accounting services to the Mini-Cache area for well over 50 years. Tax return preparation, tax planning at its best, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, all of this for you, your family, and your business, with 2 locations serving you, and that's, of course, in Burley and Rupert. Stop in and give them a call today. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Enjoy the last day of sunshine for this week because, unfortunately, tomorrow that's all going to change. Here's your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We are looking at mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side, gusts as high as 20 miles an hour, and we are expecting a high of 80. Tonight is the beginning of the change. Clouds rolling into the valley, and we are expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow, a 20% chance of rain, showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Partly sunny skies and winds picking up as well with a high near 72. Thursday night, isolated rain, showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 44. Gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. Friday, chance of rain, showers and thunderstorms pretty much the entirety of the day. High of 54. Friday night, rain, showers likely, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 40. And then for Saturday, pretty much the same. Rain, showers, and thunderstorms in the forecast, about a 50% chance. Cloudy skies and a high near 60. That's your weather forecast for us up at the ranch.
And thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. I'm really high on these guys and gals. They do a wonderful job, as I said, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cache area for well over 50 years. They thank you for all your business during tax season, and they want to continue serving you. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company in Burley and Rupert, bringing you the weather. We had this gentleman on the program the other day, as a matter of fact, and we want to say Lee Hyder is running for re-election for State Senate, District 24, and the best always stand the test. Idaho Senator Lee Hyder is one of the best, as a matter of fact, serving you. And I urge you to go to the polls on May 15th, next Tuesday, and re-elect Lee Hyder for State Senate, District 24, and, of course, paid for by Lee Hyder for Senate, District 24. Thank you very much. Let's see, what else have I got cooking here? Oh, coming up at 10:30 this morning, we've had a change in the scheduling. Imagine that. During politics time, we had a change. We're going to have an interview at 10:08 with Governor Hopeful, and that's Tommy Alquist. And then we've changed, and we're going to have Ray Bagby on our program at 10:33, and he's going to be talking about Pioneer Village Days. This is going to be a lot of fun coming up this weekend on May 11th and 12th over there in Declo. Ray has just devoted his life to just the old Western heritage and culture, and has done a tremendous job. And we're going to be talking about what's going on this weekend at Pioneer Village Days over in Declo with Ray Bagby and the crew, and it's sponsored by the Pioneer Hall of Fame. And we're going to be talking to him about that at around 10:33 this morning. Okay, let's see. Oh, Mad River has got a special deal going on, and I'd like to get a call. Please, somebody bail me out. I am so tired of talking. I'd love to hear your comments about some of the things we've talked about already this morning. Give me a call at 436-2244 or whatever. Just give me a jingle. I'd love to talk to you. Mad River's got a special deal going on this weekend. And I want to talk about that. Nicole and the rest of the crew, these are the nicest people you've ever been around. Mad River Laser on the historic Rupert Square. They're going to have a deal going on Friday and Saturday called Meet the Artist. And you can watch personalization artist Charlene customize your gifts right there in the store. And if you've never been to Mad River Laser, oh my goodness, the things they can put together for you, your business, and your family, outstanding. They're right next door to the Idaho Youth Ranch, and you'll get 10% off on your gift shop purchase. Stop over this Friday and Saturday to Mad River Laser on the historic Rupert Square. Going to be a lot of fun. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I say with a chuckle. The last couple of weeks have been just absolutely something for Deanne and I. We run a mini radio station within a bigger radio station. That's basically the good way to sum it up. And we have the controlling interest over this under my company name, Shoot 2 Promotions. And wow, if it weren't for my lovely bride, the last couple of weeks with the bookkeeping and the sales and the keeping track of all of our politicals and everything else, I don't know what we would have done. Deanne, I know Mother's Day's coming up Sunday, but I want to give you a great big shout out and a salute for what you've done under adverse conditions of not feeling well the last couple of weeks. Thank you very, very much. Okay, let's see. What else have we got cooking here? I've got one other good word here, and then we're going to head up towards news time. Want to remind you that Carl Hansen wants your vote May 15th to be your Minidoka County Commissioner. Carl has the leadership experience as a hospital CEO for 29 years, 18 of which were at Minidoka Hospital. He's an organizer and a communicator. Carl Hansen wants to address the challenges in Minidoka County and help solve them. Paid for by the Carl Hansen for Minidoka County Commissioner Committee, Jason Gibbons, Treasurer. Wheels, old buddy, old pard, how about this good word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then you take it up to CBS News. Welcome back. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, getting you ready for a big road trip with the safest of tires. You stop in and see them today, along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Wheels, if you would, please.
Jeff, what are you doing out here in the barn?
Just shoveling horse manure, but not as much as those professional politicians are shoveling.
Oh, yeah. You hear their latest ridiculous attacks on conservative Republican Tommy Ahlquist?
No, what?
That he's a Democrat.
You're kidding.
Yeah, what a joke. Tommy's voted Republican in every election. He's never voted for Hillary Clinton or any Democrat. In fact, he's a top Republican donor who's donated to both Butch Otter and Brad Little.
And he's endorsed by Mitt Romney.
Yeah, Tommy was endorsed by Mitt Romney because Tommy Ahlquist is a lifelong conservative. And like President Trump, he'll shake up the status quo.
29 years of professional politicians who are desperate to hold on to their power is long enough.
Jeff, where are you going?
I'm going to vote conservative political outsider Tommy Ahlquist.
Hey, wait. I'm going to vote for Tommy, too.
Conservative political outsider Dr. Tommy Ahlquist. Strong leadership, fresh approach. Paid for by Tommy for Idaho. Orville Thompson, Treasurer.
And don't forget, too, Kent Searle wants your vote to become District 3 Cassia County Commissioner on May 15th. Kent Searle, lifelong resident of Cassia County, has the experience of being a farmer and a dairyman, the service to you as an EMT and first responder, and, of course, has gained your trust, serving on the Ag Advisory Committee and the Gateway Powerline Committee. Kent Searle says, together we can make Cassia County even better. Kent Searle for District 3 Cassia County Commissioner, May 15th. Dan Gammon, Treasurer. Also, over in Jerome County, let's not forget Ben Crouch wants your vote to become Jerome County District 1 County Commissioner. Ben Crouch says it's time for a fresh approach in Jerome County leadership, and he's the man for the job. Ben has the business knowledge and the ability to solve problems, and his decisive leadership will help Jerome County. Don't forget, vote for Ben Crouch, Jerome County Commissioner, District 1, on May 15th. Paid for by the committee to elect Ben Crouch. Ben Crouch, Treasurer. Thank you very much. Right now, let's check with Wheels over at our main studio. Do we have Governor Hopeful Tommy Ahlquist on the line?
Honestly, I've not gotten a call yet at all. I figured I'd get a call during the break.
All right, well, just let me know the minute you do, if you would. I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. Another gentleman that we have some time, we'll try to cover a little bit. We are in the midst of a busy political season. Let's not forget Terry Kramer running for re-election as Twin Falls County Commissioner. And Twin Falls County is strong and prosperous, and Terry Kramer wants to keep it that way and growing for the future. He's got a lot of issues that he wants to address as your Twin Falls County Commissioner. So don't forget, experience matters. Keep Twin Falls County strong, prosperous, and successful. On May 15th, vote for Terry Kramer for Twin Falls County Commissioner, and of course paid for by the committee to elect Kramer Treasurer Les Prater. Thank you very much. We are waiting. We were told that the Alquist Committee would be calling in, and Tommy Alquist would be on our program for this segment, and we're waiting patiently for that to happen. And in the meantime, also, we'll fill in with other words like May 15th, re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3. Tim knows that Cassia County has a lot to offer with its heritage and history, and he wants to help move the county forward. Tim Darrington has been very involved in updating county policy reimbursement and in updating Cassia's software. Re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3 on May 15th, paid for by Darrington for Commissioner, Gail Erickson, Treasurer. What's going on, Wheels? Have we heard anything over there?
No, sir, I haven't heard anything yet. I'm getting really kind of impatient now.
Well, so am I, because we've got time that we have to fill, and during this particular season, I don't have extra minutes to just lay out there naked and bare to try to fill, and so I hope they call shortly. In the interim, anybody that would like to call and make a comment, give us a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And we'll talk about any and all the subject matter that we have tried to talk about earlier this morning. Phone ringing here at home, which doesn't do me a lot of good on the air, so give us a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I mentioned earlier this morning that there's going to be quite a neat little gathering going on over at Mad River Laser on the historic Rupert Square this Friday and Saturday. Nicole and the rest of the crew, they're going to have an artist, a professional personalization artist by the name of Charlene, that is going to be customizing your gifts. And boy, have they got a tremendous gift shop over at Meet the Artist Mad River Laser on the Square. This is going to be a fun deal. Check it out. 10% off on your gift shop purchases. It's right next door to the Idaho Youth Ranch, 502 East Street in Rupert. Mad River Laser. You stop over and see Nicole and the rest of the crew today and through the weekend. Wheels, how we doing over there? We have a call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you.
Well, good morning again already.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I've been watching this nomination for the CIA, and I'm proud to say that Senator Risch came on there and give her a thumbs up, on everything she's done or what she's going to do. And I thought that was really good. Some of these others are really, really knocking her, like this Ron Wyden from Morgan.
Yeah.
What a piece of
easy
flesh he is.
No, one thing I heard during the news at 10 o'clock, Keith, is something that was very disconcerting to me. There was, and you can probably verify this because you were watching, there was the questions and the affirmations made to her that she should promise never to have an interrogation program like they used to have. And I say, no, never make a promise. Never make a statement that you will never do something. If it is needed and it has to be for the protection of America and its citizens, never make a promise otherwise.
Well, she would not get the nomination if she didn't say that they were not going to have it anymore. I'm sorry to say, but she probably would do the right thing there. But I'm with you on that, Zeb, and the fact that we don't know what the future is. but they don't give you a chance to say what you really think. They just want your yes or no answer.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. I'm going to stand firm on that. I am more concerned about your health and welfare, my children, my grandchildren, everyone's health and welfare over a terrorist, and I would never, ever accept a promise never to go back and get the information extracted any way possible, and I don't think I would do that. If I were her and the nominee for that position, I would look that senator right in the eye and say, sir, under circumstances that are not yet known and in the future, I would never make a promise that would be hurtful to the United States of America.
Well, she has already made it very clear, Zeb, that is not her responsibility. And so I don't know exactly how she did answer it, but
yeah,
that is true. She doesn't make that decision.
Well, it doesn't make any difference who is responsible for it. Never make a statement that is going to put you into a closet and confine you. I would never say that I wouldn't do something. I would never say that I would agree not to do anything, because circumstances in the future are going to dictate whether you do or not.
Well, she's pretty thoughtful in her answering the questions, and sometimes she has to point out to these senators what they don't know. They think they know everything, but they don't.
Amen.
And she brings it very clear to them. I mean, this lady is sharp.
Absolutely. Listen, Keith, I've got to do another commercial break, but keep us informed. Thank you very much for your diligence on that. Have a great day, you and Nancy. Thank you so much.
You bet. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Want to remind you that Senator Jim Patrick wants your vote to be reelected as state senator for District 25, and he urges you to get out and vote on May 15th. Let your voice be heard. Jim Patrick, what a gentleman. I've known him for a long time. 40-year farmer, 20-year bank director, really understands the business and agricultural issues of our state of our state of Idaho, including all the water issues. Oh my, they all run together. Jim feels that he wants to continue supporting you and helping you in the state of Idaho, and he wants your vote on May 15th. Jim Patrick for State Senate District 25, paid for by Jim Patrick for Senator District 25. Also, yes, sir.
I was just going to let you know that Mr. Tommy Alquist is on the phone for
Well, we only have a brief time left, but we'll say good morning to Governor Hopeful, Tommy Alquist. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. How are you?
I am fine. Listen, Mr. Alquist, I'm going to get right into it because we're at a lack of time in this segment, but I want to try to get a couple of questions answered. And I'm going to make a statement on behalf of myself, being a father and a grandfather, and I want you to respond to it regarding education. I, for one, am sick and tired of the denigration of Idaho's education. Anything can be better, but demonstrating and demonizing our students and teachers as bottom of the barrel, I don't like those statements, and I think it's time to build it up instead of tear it down. What are your thoughts?
I couldn't agree with you more. It's time to build it up, but we've got to believe data, Zeb. I've toured 81 out of 115 school districts in the state this year and talked to parents, teachers. Here's the problem in Idaho. We've got a lot of changes we need to do at the top between the Department and Board of Education. Number two, we've got to get more of our pay down to our teachers. You can make $12,000 to $18,000 more crossing any border. We've got to get it down. Three, we have over-regulated our school system to where our teachers are fatigued. As you go around the state and interview parents and teachers, specifically those good teachers taking care of our kids, they all say the same thing, which is please, 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 get out of our way and let us teach our kids. They're fatigued. And the better the teacher, the more fatigued they are. And then lastly, we continue to blame the teachers when things go wrong. It is time in Idaho to start believing data, to start actually innovating in a way that we get out of the way and let these teachers teach. But having the same old in this state is gone on long enough, and people are ready for change. They're ready for a difference. Every school district I've been to, as we've gone and toured these schools, you've got good teachers ready for something new. And the current paradigm of how we're doing it is not working in Idaho. and it's time for change.
Well, be more definitive on that. Tell me what the paradigm is. What are the changes? What's necessary? Just throwing money at a situation isn't going to cure it. What are the changes that you're going to make?
So exactly. So here's the current paradigm. And if you read Section 33 of Idaho Code, you'll see we all blame the federal government for strings that are attached to our education. That is not the case. Idaho, our state here, has plenty of options of what we can do to clearly define, not do what we've done over the past, but clearly define what's expected out of our teachers. And that is the biggest thing we need to do in this state, and you hear it from every single place you go. Every teacher, every principal that is out there working for our kids are saying the same thing, which is please give us teach. We control that. Next thing is cents of every dollar goes towards education. It will not be just more money. It will be getting the money to going line item by line item to make sure that we get it where it matters. And that has not happened in Idaho long enough. We will do that. And then lastly, we need more technical education in this state. And there are pockets around this state where technical education has been done correctly and implemented in these high schools. And it's creating line of sight between our kids and our jobs right here in Idaho. It'll keep our kids here. It'll solve our biggest problem, which we need good kids ready to work in this company everywhere you go. And secondly, our kids, if they come out with training and are ready to work, you'll watch our wages increase like they need to. And finally, and most importantly, the kids in Idaho need hope. They need to know that there's a future for them waiting for them. And we can provide all of those things if we figure out technical education here in the state of Idaho.
Yeah, but when you say hope, and I'm going to pursue this a little bit because I do not like the ads that were put out a year or two ago by certain groups that showed kids being dropped off a school bus in a desert wasteland. As far as their education is concerned, they weren't going anywhere. They were not on a road to success, and that's not true. My two children, now young adults, have been very successful with the educations here in the state of Idaho, and I do take offense to some of the negativity.
Yeah, I think it's frustration that people are feeling, and Zeb, to be perfectly clear to you, there are little pockets for you and for your kids. Things are going great, and I'm very happy for you. But if you actually got around the state and toured these schools, there is so much room for improvement. It's so things have gone great for me and my family too in this state, Zeb, but it's more. It's about all of Idaho. It's about all of these rural school districts. It's about all our kids, not just our one family. And there is so much more we can do. There is no reason why Idaho cannot lead the nation in reading proficiency, math proficiency, and getting these kids through graduation where they have a future that plugs them into careers in technical education. And I think that what you're hearing is frustration because people are tired of settling. And you pick the statistics. We have so much room to go. Reading proficiency, math proficiency, high school graduation, technical education, career readiness. Let's lead the nation. It's possible because you're right. We have the right kids. We have amazing kids in heritage in this state. We have the right teachers, amazing teachers who are committed to these kids. We just need to scale the successes around this state and come together on education. It's the foundation of our economy. Nothing will make more of a difference for our state and our future than figuring out education so that the families of Idaho can thrive. Not just your family, Zeb, not just mine, but all families in Idaho.
All right, Tommy, now I know you're on a cell phone, and I know the connection's not the best, so bear with it and try to speak as loud and clear into that as you can. One of the statements that you've made is you're going to cut $100 million in the state budget in the first 100 days of your office. How are you going to do that without the work of the legislature?
Well, what we've said is we're going to identify that money, then we'll work with them to cut it. Because let me tell you what. Our state has been run for too long by the same cronyism, good old boy network. There are 68 agencies of state government, Zeb, and I've sat and gone through those over the last, for the last 10 years. We've looked at those state agencies and the budget and the way they spend our tax dollars. $100 million is short. There is so much money that is simply wasted by state agencies. We will go through each one of them with a fine-tooth comb, and we will change the paradigm in Idaho. Instead of just spending that money, all you have to do on all of these analyses we've done the last year of these agencies, guess what happens at the end of each fiscal year? If you don't spend every single dollar of the state agency, you lose it. We spend that money. We don't invest it. We need to invest our tax dollars. We do not have the luxury in Idaho of wasting taxpayer dollars. And that's what's happening right now in so many of these agencies. That's got to change. It will change when we change leadership, because the same old in this state, people understand it. They get it. People understand what's going on, and they're ready for something new. They just are, and we're gonna be that change, because we're going to come in with a new look at budgets, a new look at the way we provide to our people. We have gone in each of these agencies, Zeb, and asked this question: who is the customer? How is the customer being treated? And what is the 10-year trend lines for funding of that agency? And when you look at that level at these agencies, there is so much work we can do. There's so many ways where we can invest that money, not just spend it. It is way overdue. It's time for that. I can't wait to get to it.
I've got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to ask one more question. On your advertisements that you send out, you say you're going to crack down on medical fraud. And my question is, are you going to treat it like New Hampshire and other states that are adopting to people on Medicaid that if you're able-bodied, go to work, get off the system? What are your thoughts?
Zeb, here is the problem in Idaho. We do not need to expand Medicaid. We need to reform Medicaid, and no one else is talking about it. Fraud, waste, and abuse. There are ways that the state we've just been too lazy. We have got to get at this and actually have these Medicaid dollars spent where they're most effective. We've got to have personal accountability where you have some reason to spend the money effectively, and we've got to not allow that to go to able-bodied people. What we've created the gap in America. We have let the left push an agenda to try to socialize medicine. But, Zeb, on the other side of that, you've got big business. You've got the pharmaceutical industry, pharmacy benefit managers, large insurance companies, and large health systems that are taking advantage of our people. And the reason why, follow the money. You just have to follow the money, and that's another reason we need a huge change in this state. The cronyism in the state of Idaho is worse than in most states because we got a one-party system where big business is taking advantage of our people. If the people out there listening to your show are happy with their health care, with their premiums and what it costs to go see a doctor, then just keep things the way they are. But if they're ready for something new, to take on the cronyism on one side and to push back on this leftist agenda to give Medicaid to everyone and socialize medicine, we can do some things in Idaho that no one else can because we're small, we're nimble, we don't have giant urban populations. We could do it right here in Idaho and set an example for the rest of the United States.
All right, Tommy, one last question, and give me a short answer on this because I've got a hard break at the bottom of the hour. We have not discussed your views on the backbone of Idaho, and that's agriculture. Give me your viewpoint on that before you leave.
Agriculture is our past. It is our heritage. It is our present, and it is our future. And I will fight for the ag industry. I will surround myself with multi-generational people that know this industry. It has been one of the greatest pleasures in this campaign to spend as much time as I have with the industry, understanding the challenges it faces with overregulation, with taxes, with all of the pressures that are down on agriculture. We need a governor that understands that, that responds to that. I will be that governor for the ag industry. We will protect our water rights, the sovereignty of our water, and we will fight for the ag industry because it is Idaho's future.
Tommy Ahlquist for governor, thank you very much for sharing with us on our program this morning, and appreciate your time. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The interview. We were a little bit late getting the connection. Wheels over at the station, thank you very much for your diligence in making sure everything got taken care of. While we have just a moment right now, I want to also remind you, Carl Hansen wants your vote May 15th to be your Minidoka County Commissioner. Carl has the leadership experience as a hospital CEO of 29 years, 18 of which at Minidoka Hospital, and he's an organizer and a communicator. Carl Hansen wants to address the challenges in Minidoka County and help solve them. Paid for by Carl Hansen from Minidoka County Commissioner, Jason Gibbons, Treasurer. And let me see what else I've got on my list here. I got to talk about a great big Bennett Boys sale. Woo, it's been a busy morning. When people are not on time, it makes the whole program come to a screeching halt. I don't like that. Let's see. Bennett Boys Auction Service, Myers Estate Auction, going on this coming Saturday, May 12th at 10 a.m., located in Hagerman at 2883 Ritchie Road. This is going to be a quality sale. Lots and lots of sporting items, furniture, household items, tractors, vehicles, trailers, farm farm equipment. Oh, my goodness, lots and lots of shop tools and lawn and garden items. It's going to be a sale this coming Saturday, May 12th, at the Myers Estate Auction, 10 o'clock in the morning, managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service. Don't miss it. You'll see the signs over there in Hagerman. The Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they manage them all. You better believe it. Wheels, if you would, please. Now it's time for this good word for Brad Little.
When electing a governor, character counts. That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land, and he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
And right now we're going to send it back over to Wheels and our main studio. I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
And I thank you very much. And right now, Wheels over at the control room. This good word for Brad Little, please.
When electing a governor, character counts. That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land, and he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
There's a gentleman on the phone right now that he has no idea what a restful conversation it's going to be for me after the morning we've had. With all the politicals and everything, I say good morning and welcome, welcome, welcome to Ray Bagby over at Declo. God bless you, my child. How are you?
Well, I'm just fine, Zeb, and how are you today?
Well, I told you the other day, after May 15th, I'm going to heal up and be one heck of a lot better, buddy. Thank you.
I know I don't see how you keep up with it. I absolutely don't.
Well, now, you've got quite an event coming up, and I just absolutely marvel at your talents and your ability to try to preserve the Old West and everything. What's going on with this event called Pioneer Village Days? Give us a kind of a thumbnail sketch.
Okay, well, basically, for years I've built buggies and whatnot and blacksmithing, and then it's evolved, and a lot through Dale Whipple, to put on every year to show young people and old people what we do, like the old ways. So it's turned into where we have rope making, and Sharon Haskell does the wool spinning and turtle sewing machine work, and her and her son Paul Bell is here this morning getting ready, and me and Richard been raking leaves. That's all we can do. And Delbert Setliff's helping us, and they're hauling buggies in. And then on Friday, we take cater to the special needs kids and all school kids to come and have wagon rides, stagecoach rides, free hot dogs and ice cream, and hopefully have a good time.
You know, Ray, this is really a nice event. Now, is there a charge for the public to get there and enjoy Pioneer Village Days? Tell us about that.
No, absolutely not. Everything, we just enjoy doing it. The only charge here is on Saturday there's a Dutch oven meal available, and there'll be a charge for that. I can't tell you right now how much they're going to charge.
Okay. Now, you're located, now the address I want to give, and correct me if I'm wrong, is 950 East, 153 South. Let me say that again, I messed it up. 950 East, 153 South of Declo, right?
That's exactly right.
And will there be signs on the roadway or anything to let people know where you're located, or is it fairly visible?
Well, once they get on this road, they can't miss it. But Old Highway 30 up north of here, they usually put a sign there. So
okay.
If you go through Declo headed east, well, you'll see a sign that'll tell you where to turn south.
Okay.
And it's a half a mile south, and you just can't miss it.
Okay. Ray, you've been so instrumental, and for the time I've known you, I mean, you've really been involved in preserving the character and personality of the Old West. Why? Why are you so in tune with this?
Well, kind of been in the cow business and horses and whatnot, and I've always, when we first got our first TV, it was just Westerns, and then I got history. I like Old West history, not fiction, but history. And then here local is a lot of history of Old West history, and the blacksmith and Bill Buggies like the old ones. It really means a lot to me, and hopefully to a lot of other people.
Now, tell me about this. You've kind of built, and tell me if I'm wrong, but kind of built an old Western village with, like, what, a blacksmith shop and everything. Explain a little bit about what's on the property.
Okay, well, we'll start with the blacksmith shop, and over the years, it is full of every blacksmith tool has ever heard of, and we use them. It's not just hanging up to look at. And then we have a saloon that's set up just like an old saloon. But of course, there's no booze in it on these days. But anyway, then my carriage shop is where we do all the carriage building. And we use a lot of old tools. And then I have a harness shop with saddles, harness, leather working tools. And then we have what I call the mercantile shop where Sharon's setting up with a lot of antiques in it. My barber shop that I never got done, the building's still there. And then we build a stagecoach depot. That's where the kids and everybody will get on the wagon and the stagecoach. And it's not completely finished either, like I do everything else. And that's basically it. And of course, there's corrals and everything here, but that isn't up here in the yard, especially.
Let me ask you this, Ray, and we've talked about you're building these wagons and especially this beautiful, beautiful stagecoach you just finished. How did you know what tools were used in what instances? I mean, we're talking 165, 170 years ago. How did you find out all the tools that were needed and how to use them?
Well, of course, publications, reading a lot of books, and then to run into like spoke shaves and draw knives, and then it just evolved by using them, and then to build a wagon, and then you'd read or see what kind of an old tool is supposed to be used there. And like some of this that tire bender, it rolls the iron in the circle. And to steam and bend this wood, we were lucky to find an old boiler, and we bend the wood just like they did 100 years ago. And our lathe and trip hammer and anvils, swedge blocks, all of that is just old tools that we found and learned how to use them by using them.
Well, Ray, when you were learning how to use these tools and you found the tools or maybe even made some of the tools, what did you learn about our ancestors? Were they a pretty sharp and innovative type of people? They must have been to create what they did.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, to build what they did and to bore holes and saw into solid oak is a pretty hard wood. And they built all of these things with hand tools. And their craftsmanship is unbelievable. I wish I could shake the hands of some of the Studebaker brothers and Abbott and Downing that built those stagecoaches. It's unbelievable what they did with hand tools.
Well, you know, now you just finished, and help me on the terminology, a replica exactly of a Concorde stagecoach. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, well, of course, I had a book by a gentleman that restores them, and then I had a set of plans for a coach from the Smithsonian Institute, and then with a friend of mine in Montana, we found out exactly how to build that Concorde like the old one. Now, we fudged and used power tools. I hate to admit it, but we did. But everything on that thing is identical to the old Concorde, an 1884 Concorde, except inside of the hubs there's roller bearings.
I see.
And you can't tell that by looking at it because they're wood hubs and everything else. But other than that, and the interior, the leather, the full braces, the size, the wheel size is exactly to an 1884 Abbott Downing Concorde.
Well, let me ask you this question then, Ray. We're talking about 140, 150 years ago. They didn't have production lines back in those times, I would assume. How long did it take to build each Concorde stagecoach?
You know, I couldn't tell you exactly on that. I've studied Abbott Downing a lot. At one time, he had 400 people working for him.
Wow.
He had 40 different forges going, and he had 15 people working in his cutting wood and seasoning. So with that many people working, I wonder if he could turn out a coach a week. I may be plumb wrong, but that is a lot of help, 400 men.
Yeah. Well, what about the...
It has 10 years to build this one, so we can't use that as an example.
Well, let me ask you this then. The stagecoach and other wagons and harnesses and buggies, all of this is going to be on display this weekend, correct?
Yeah, that's true. I'll go through a little list here. Of course, the Concorde, and then I'm building a hearse, but it's still in the shop. It's not done. And a wagonette. There'll be 3 doctor buggies. There'll be a vis-a-vis. There'll be a Surrey that belongs to Claims Ollinger that we restored that we're really proud of. There'll be a covered wagon. There'll be a chuck wagon. There'll be 2 single-horse carts. There's an old bear saw, and there might be a couple more vehicles show up that I can't think of right now.
Okay, I want to ask you this question regarding the old chuck wagons. I think, was it Charlie Goodnight or someone on the old Chisholm Trail or Chisholm himself that designed the first chuck wagons to go up the cattle drives? How close to exact are your chuck wagons from the 1870s and 80s?
Well, you're reading about this chuck wagon. Goodnight he's the first one. He told one of his cowboys to nail up a chuck box and put it in the back of that wagon. It might have been a little rough, the first one, but he started it. And this chuck wagon, there might be 2 of them here, we built with a 12-foot box exactly like an old chuck wagon. The box, the chuck box, the bows, spring seat, size, everything is just like the old one.
Wow. And this event coming up this weekend on Friday and Saturday, the Pioneer Village Days, is sponsored by the Pioneer Hall of Fame. What would you like to tell us about those folks?
Well, the Pioneer Hall of Fame, several years ago, Lee Jorgensen told me that he was involved with a club called the Pioneer Hall of Fame, and so I went to a meeting. And, of course, the main guy is old Colonel Dale Whipple, just a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. So after being there for a year, and they didn't have really an event, so I said, why don't you come out to my place? It's nothing fancy, but there's old tools. We'll just have a get-together. So for about 10 years now, we've done this every year, and I'm glad when it's over, and I'm glad when we're doing it. You know, it's just fun to do.
Well, I got to ask you, too, that I understand from what you told me the other day, you're going to have an old-time biscuit making. What do you mean by that? Are there going to be free samples? What's going on?
Oh, that gentleman makes those biscuits, and he just does them in the top of the flour sack like they did on the old chuck wagons. And those, I just can't get enough of them, but the heck of it is, every time I go to get one, he's making a new batch. You can't believe how good they are.
Well, it sounds really tasty. Now, if you would, we got about a minute and a half left here. Give us kind of a real quick summation of what's going to take place Friday and then on Saturday. Go ahead.
Okay. So Friday, we figure around 9 o'clock, the school buses come with school kids, daycares, special needs, whatever, and they look through what all's going on. Then they go on the wagon ride and the chuck wagon, or the stagecoach ride, up here in the field and back. And then they get free hot dogs, a free ice cream, and a free milk. And then usually they leave by noon. Then Saturday it's for everybody. The same thing, except if they want to eat that day, they'll have to have either a free biscuit or have some Dutch oven food. And then they'll behave the wagon rides and the stagecoach rides. And then every station here will have somebody demonstrating what we do here.
I'll tell you what, Ray Bagby, I'm honored that you're a friend of mine, and I really am proud of what you're doing. Pioneer Village Days this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday, sponsored by the Pioneer Hall of Fame at 950 East, 153 South of Declo. And Ray, do you mind if I give them your telephone number if they have any questions?
No, that'd be great.
Call them at 312-7643 if you have any questions. And Ray Bagby, I hope everything is a fun success for you, and thank you for being on my program.
Well, thank you for letting me be on, and I wish you and Deanne could. I know you're busier than heck, but if you find a little break, please come by.
I tell you what, I might have you get me on the stagecoach and just don't stop until we get down by Cedar Fort, Utah. Let's keep running.
Okay, well, we'll do this over and under as far as we can, then.
All right, Ray Bagby, God bless you. Thank you for being on the program.
And thank you.
All right, sir.
Bye.
I really enjoy that man, and he has just got a ton of talent in keeping the Old West alive. Ray Bagby. Let's go to the weather forecast right now, and before we do, this good word wheels for Representative Fred Wood.
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here's Fred's views on water.
Zeb, without water, Idaho as we know it would not exist. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of salmon versus power production. As a senior member of the House Resources Committee, I will do everything within my power to stop downstream interests from taking Idaho's water.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
Thank you very much, and I want to go to the weather forecast right now. You can see out there looking at the sky, we're going to have some changes. Gina kind of alluded to that earlier this morning. Well, the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, Don Scarrow and the crew, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. I've known these folks for years and years. Quality meats for you and your family. Marinated prime ribs, smoked hams, different types of bacon and breakfast sausages and bratwurst, my favorite. All of this and so much more with Scarro's Meats over in Jerome. Number to call again, 324-7657. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Enjoy the last day of sunshine for this week because, unfortunately, tomorrow that's all going to change. Here's your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We are looking at mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side. Gusts as high as 20 miles an hour, and we are expecting a high of 80. Tonight is the beginning of the change. Clouds rolling into the valley, and we are expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow, 20% chance of rain, showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Partly sunny skies and winds picking up as well with a high near 72. Thursday night, isolated rain, showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 44. Gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. Friday, chance of rain, showers and thunderstorms pretty much the entirety of the day. High of 54. Friday night, rain showers likely, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 40. And then for Saturday, pretty much the same. Rain, showers, and thunderstorms in the forecast, about a 50% chance. Cloudy skies and a high near 60. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Great job, Gina, as usual. Thank you very much. And brought to everyone this hour by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Again, that telephone number, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. Wow, what a fast-moving, if you were sitting in this chair, it felt like somebody was spinning it at about 100 miles an hour this morning for 3 hours. And I really want to say thank you to you, the listeners. I know that we're deluged with a lot of advertising and everything this time of the year for primaries, but you have stood with me, stuck with me, called in, made your comments. I really appreciate you, and thank you for your involvement in the program. Thank you very, very much. Once again, I want to remind you again about Ray Bagby and Pioneer Village Days coming up this Friday and Saturday over in Declo. Very worthwhile for you to stop over and relive part of our Western heritage. It's going to be really a nice deal. I've got time for a call if you want to give me one at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Tomorrow on the program, what have we got cooking here? We're going to have an open forum in the first hour, and I understand we're going to be hearing from a couple of ladies talking about an event that's going to be going on, I believe, up in Albion for about 5 minutes at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Then, of course, we've got our chamber report, and at 9:17, a segment that really has caught on and a lot of popularity, and that's learning all about your friends and neighbors serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. 9:30, Rita's going to be on the air, and then, of course, at 10:10, Cassia School Days. I look forward to that segment every week on Thursday. And then, of course, we have our business salute, followed then by, at 10:30, one of our politicals coming on the program and telling why they would like you to vote for them on May 15th. So that's scheduled all for tomorrow, including your phone calls and your thoughts. So thank you very much. Our major sponsor, take a big breath, Jeb. Keep going. Our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We really appreciate them. All 7 locations telling you if you're getting ready for a road trip, stop in. Get the safest of driving tires for your vehicle. Your cars, pickups, SUVs, boat trailers, horse trailers, whatever. They've got them all. They've got great buys on these tires, like the Ultra Z900 for your cars or the Backcountry All-Terrain for your pickups and SUVs. Don't forget, too, the very best of brake service with highly trained brake technicians and, of course, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this at all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. None better. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. We will be back here tomorrow morning at exactly 8:06, and with the Thursday edition right here on K-Bar 1230 AM, and then streaming live all over the world, literally, on zebbell.com. Thank you very much, and we'd appreciate hearing from you, all your calls, questions, etc. And I always urge you to remember this: the way things were are the way things ought to be. This good word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then Wheels. God bless you, young man. Send them to CBS News. Thank you.